Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Folks, it is Monday evening, and I want to do a research show, so to speak. The title, How Black Americans Were Robbed of Their Land, it's not trending, but, quality over quantity sometimes is what we need to do, and that's when we have our best discussions, okay? In my community section, there's a video that I posted with regards to Black Americans and certain things that most of you should know with regards to farmers losing their land, being swindled out of their land, and other things here in America. And this is not to cry, this is not to complain, but yes, Black Americans, whether you're, FBA, foundational Black Americans, or whether your ancestors came here on a slave ship, you're victims. You're victims, and there should be nothing wrong with you talking about your past and your present condition and what the future may or may not hold, okay? Also on the screen, there's a documentary called Silver Dollar Road that I recently watched. Salute to Dana with the data. She pointed this documentary out to me. As some of you may or may not know, I'm moving next week from Stone Harbor, New Jersey, down to Emerald Isle in North Carolina. That's along the Crystal Coast. I'm going to be renting. I don't want to purchase anything. I don't think I ever want to purchase a home to live in again. I don't want to do no work. I don't want to cut no grass. I don't want to have a mild stroke, cutting some fucking hedges. No thanks. But the county where Emerald Isle is located, woo! The county itself is the focus of that documentary, Silver Dollar Road, and one of the saddest crimes that took place. Two Black men, they were incarcerated for 8 years. The Reels family, Reels family, okay? They were wrongfully convicted back in 2011. That was the harshest sentence ever issued for the offense of allegedly trespassing on property that they inherited from their family, going back to the days of slavery, okay? So that's just one of the sources for tonight's discussion, the Silver Dollar Road documentary, if anybody wants to call in with regards to that, okay? Also, here in America, there's places that are rarely spoken about. Most people have heard about the Black Wall Street, but, Wilmington, North Carolina is a place where Black people were done wrong. Their land was taken. St. Petersburg, Florida. I was there on my Florida road trip a couple of years ago. The Deuces, for those who know what that was, the Deuces. The Mississippi Delta, very rich land in terms of agriculture, was taken from Black farmers. So that's just some of the bullet points with regards to tonight's show, okay? We may or may not get into Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I think they're scheduled to fight. Is it July the 20th? Oh, my goodness. I want to see Jake Paul knock Mike Tyson's block off. I'm just going to say that. Don't we love Mike Tyson? We love him. We love him. But stop it. Whatever you're doing, does he need a bag? Is he trolling? And if you're going to continue to do this sort of stuff, I want to see him get his block knocked off, okay? Later on, if you want to chime in about that, all right? Also, hang on a second. Something else I want to put on the table because, again, this is not a trending topic, but if anybody wants to chime in, Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. Hilton Head Island. For those of you from the South Carolina, North Carolina area, this was a place where Black people owned most of the land prior to the 1950s. Are you guys up to speed? Hilton Head, South Carolina. Somewhere around the 1950s, white real estate developers, they built a bridge. And then they forced out, and then they purchased some of the land from Black landowners. and it is now one of the most swankiest places in South Carolina, Hilton Head Island. Okay, I want to talk about that as well. All right, so that's my working title tonight. Good evening, good evening. I see some of you on the phones already. Thank you for tapping in. Folks, let's stay on topic with this particular discussion. And sponsors, if you want to call in later, I can bring you on later. But I want to at least lay this out so we can have a healthy discussion on a Monday night, okay? Area code 305, good evening, good evening. We're having a research edition of sorts. Are you there, 305?
Yeah, I'm here, Stark. What's up?
How are you, sir? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I guess I was going to speak on the black land ownership and the theft of the land.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure like where you the angle you're taking with it, but I guess I was just going to speak on it. Many of the things that you were saying are in fact true. I myself am a landlord.
Okay.
I'm a property owner.
Okay.
I fully own my house. I own several other residential properties and some commercial properties. Now, with that, I've seen myself firsthand how the transfer of land takes place. It's all contractual these days. Like in the older times, it would have been, more militant, having an army, such things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it works now is through contracts and through just the simple law of the land.
Yeah.
The way that you were saying, many people, black people, lose their land is not knowing the rules of the game. Right. They inherit a property. Like you said, they don't pay the taxes. There's no administrator. There's the quick sales, there's the predatory sales, predatory buyers that will just zone in and they harp on that. And, bad business deals, lack of understanding that land is being transferred over. But I guess at the end of the day, what I was really going to say is that you really can't own land in true. You have to eventually pay your taxes. Like I said, I'm a landlord, property owner. At the end of the day, I don't pay a mortgage or a rent. I have to pay my taxes. If I don't do that after 2.5 to 3 years, that's when they'll, file an eminent domain or auction sale, sheriff sale, and then they'll sell it for pennies on the dollar, and then whatever your value was, you've lost it. So you can't even use the property, you can't sell it, can't work it, can't do anything. So I guess that's the main thing of these days in this era, how black land is being taken. And I guess as you see it from, like you said, the Reconstruction era, when there was a high percentage of black ownership, as it's trickled down. Another episode you were talking about inherited wealth and how it dissipates, over time, second generation, third generation. That takes place. That's how the land is being taken, and it's just being reassimilated back to governments, back to private entities, and they're making use of it. So that's how black people are losing their land. No one's coming and taking it from them strong arm. They're just not following the rules of the regulation. They're not following the game.
Can I jump in, sir? No, they are, in my opinion, coming in and taking it. They're catching black people. They have been for decades, centuries, if you will, because they don't know the particulars as you and I just laid out. So it is illegal in a sense. Not that you have to agree with me, but why do you feel it's necessary or within your best interest to pay off the mortgage? Why do you feel
that? For me, I never had to do a mortgage. I kind of came into a situation where I had a lump sum of cash, and just went straight in and bought everything out, titles, title companies, and just did it that way. I guess my overall thing is I'm anti-mortgage because the mortgage is the interest. Whoever you're mortgaging through, they're getting the profit in between of you paying off your house or paying off your property. They're pocketing that interest. So in the long run, you can end up what they call underwater, is where you're paying more on your house or your property than it's worth. So, that could also be a factor. That's why I'm not, more pro-mortgage. But just if you can, stay away from mortgages. If you have that opportunity.
If I can jump in again. If I can
go ahead.
If I can jump in again. I am an admitted one-time slumlord. I only wanted tenants that were on Section 8 or getting state money. I purposely purchased some land out in Hazleton, PA, and set up a couple of mobile homes and double wides. So it wasn't in my best interest to pay off everything. And, the reality of whether you're going to rent or whether you're going to try and pay off the mortgage to one day sell it you know,
Mm-hmm.
for a profit. I mean, that's to each his own. I just wanted to make sure that I could have someone to somewhat sort of hold me down. And if something, a fire or whatever, the interest, as you know, fluctuates over the years, and then you can
Right.
you refinance, you can get a reverse mortgage or whatever. So I just never found it to be in my best interest to pay everything off. I like to leave it out there, let it linger. How did you do during the recession, during the when Obama was in office? Did you get any of that money?
Now, when Obama, I'm a younger man. I'm only 32.
Okay.
When Obama was in office, I was still in my young 20s.
Okay.
Like I couldn't even, his first election, I couldn't even vote in it. But then his second election, I wasn't at that level in my life yet. So that was around 25. So
I didn't vote for him. I voted for Trump twice, but that was my nigga during the recession. I got one of them bailouts for 2 pieces of property, 2 pieces of shit.
You got a little money. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I mean, finesse. That's it. If you know how to play the game, play the game.
Yeah.
Get that.
but now, hang on a second. Let's go back. Because in different states there have been multiple examples of Black people, being done wrong. And I got some notes here. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but are you familiar with Hilton Head Island in South Carolina?
No, I'm not familiar. Can't say I am.
I've never been there, but supposedly, from what I've researched, some white real estate developers built a bridge back in the 50s. Supposedly, most of that land was owned by Black people, and they came in there and swindled them out of the land. And now it's like some exclusive place for upscale white people. Hilton Head, South Carolina. Hilton Head Island, pardon me, island. Just asking.
No, I'm not familiar with that at all. But I mean, I understand what you were kind of describing there. It's basically gentrification. Come in, they know the real value of the land, they sell it pennies on the dollar, get it cheap, and then they move everyone out, and you can't come back. Right? Only the new white people or whoever, the new community can come in, and that's just gentrification, in my opinion.
What area are you from, in particular?
I live in Middle Tennessee in Nashville.
Okay.
And so most of my properties are here in Tennessee, and I got like one up in Connecticut that I got. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Atlanta?
I mean, I've been down there. I'm not any not property wise or purchasing anything, but I've just been down in Atlanta, in that area. It's all right. I don't really like it, but
I don't like it either. I don't like it. I think a lot of those Black realtors are hustling other Black people.
Oh, yeah.
I think that they're trying to get Black people to buy mansions, but it did just my very little bit of research that I did down there. I didn't see too many community development specialists that were trying to help Black people. I just saw a lot of realtors up on the gram, popping bottles up in the club, trying to get people to buy mansions. Okay, you were saying?
Yeah, like flipping houses, high dollar, the high dollar sale.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta is they made kind of like finessing and that finesse culture. They made that like a bread and butter of how they operate down there. It's not cool. Like finessing is really scamming. It's really fraud. I mean, that's what it really is. But they've kind of accepted it as like a way of life down there. So you deal with a lot of that. Like you said, people trying to get you to buy mansions or buy properties that are not going to help you with value over time.
Right.
There's a lot of that going on down there. And then, like I said, Atlanta, I don't like it. That mentality is just it bleeds through people when you talk to people down there.
I like
any type of business.
I like what you just said, sir. The finesse culture. What's your name so I can give you the credit? The finesse culture.
Oh, my name is Dozier or Hades. I'm Hades in the chat. My name is Dozier. But yeah.
Hey man, thank you for tapping in. Thank you so much.
No problem, Star.
Yes,
take care, man. Salute.
Okay.
Yep.
Atlanta, the finesse culture. Boy, I had when I moved down there, I went down there on a holder's fee for a radio corporation in 2019. And I went down there with the intent to purchase a small AM station 90 miles south of Atlanta. And I paid a couple of consultants. And then the pandemic hit. Whammo! Well, I'm an atheist, but let me just say, thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah, Father, in the name of the blood. Thank you, because I didn't purchase that little AM station. You know the rest. I got the fuck out of there. But yeah, the finesse culture in Atlanta. Anybody want to talk about the realtors in Atlanta? Aren't they like cheesy? Ken, I got your donation. Where are you, sir? 601. Hang on a second. Aren't they cheesy? And they tell everybody's business. Ken, sit tight. You're up next. Ken, sit tight. The realtors in Atlanta, they tell you who they just sold a house to. Oh, yeah, so-and-so lives over here. Rick Ross lives over there. What the fuck? I don't want to buy a house from you. And then you start telling other people where the fuck I live. Not that I'm hiding, but god damn. Hold on a second. Bone doing work. Good to see you, sir. What's cracking? Good evening.
What's good? What's good? I just called in and talk about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Please, can you come a little closer to the screen, sir, so we can get a nice, tight thumbnail. A little closer. There you go. So what's going on, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, July the 20th? Is this on Netflix?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Netflix, which should make it, if I had to guess, a top 5 viewed fight of all time, just off of that alone. So it's insane on a business note. But one thing I think that most people are missing is that this is most likely going to be an exhibition match. It's not going to be a pro fight. They're over here claiming that they want it to be a pro fight, but most likely, just knowing the commission, I'm a big boxing fan, it's not going to be a pro fight. They're going to turn it into an exhibition match. And if Jake Paul is smart, he's going to obviously take it easy on Mike Tyson. This is really just collect the giant bag.
I want to see Jake Paul make Mike Tyson kiss the canvas. I love Mike so much. I want to see him get his clock cleaned and sit his old dumb ass down. I don't want to see him fight anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really serious about it. This is all just spectacle. You know what I'm saying? It's really just for name value. It really is no sport to it. But if Jake Paul really wants to go serious, he will knock Mike Tyson out easily. That boy could fight. Jake Paul could fight.
Yeah.
Regardless of what anybody say, he could fight. And like I watch boxing nonstop. The kid is good. Like obviously you can't compare him to like Canelo. Canelo's gonna destroy him. But I'm just saying the kid could fight. He has a lot of natural ability, for sure.
Do you know boxing? Bone doing work?
Yeah. Yeah, I love boxing.
Are they trying to save boxing? Because boxing has fallen off over the years, and sometimes these fights are so unbelievable to the point where it's like they don't even care anymore. It's just done for purposes of clout. There's a Japanese professional boxer who Floyd Mayweather fought in 2018. Do you know that guy's name? Tennis.
I don't know his name. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Tenshin Nagomi or something. He was really a kickboxer though. He wasn't even a real boxer.
Nashikawa. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how you say his name. He's a big kickboxer.
Hey, man, this guy has knocked people the fuck out.
Right.
I mean, close to, I don't even want to say how many fights, but without Googling him, because this guy is the fucking truth. And he fights Floyd Mayweather and he gets dropped. That was such bullshit. And
then he started crying, literally. He started literally crying. Yeah.
How do you say that guy's name? Come on, man. How do you say his name? You gotta.
You see, the thing is, he's not really a boxer. He's a kickboxer who just filled in to fight Floyd in a boxing match. So I'm not really the biggest kickboxing fan, but I know who you're talking about. But he's not a boxer. He's a kickboxer.
44 kickboxing fights, 44 wins. 30
he's
by
like
knockout, 0 losses.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, he was undersized. Like, he's a 120, 125 fighter. Floyd probably walks around 150, 160. Walking around weight. I'm talking outside of camp. So Floyd's a lot bigger. Like, the fight, honestly, like, I think Floyd, I don't think it was fixed. But it was just a bigger guy who's a boxer versus a kickboxer, 2 completely different sports.
Bone doing work. Listen, man, you said you know boxing. Floyd Mayweather did this guy in similar fashion to how Costa Zoo did Super Zab Judah. Remember when he hit?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how old, how far.
I know what you're talking about. Where he made him
Costa
say,
Zoo gave my nigga Zap a short right. Pow! It had the nigga doing a Harlem Shake.
Yeah, I remember.
And
Yeah, he stood up. He stood up after getting dropped and fell again.
Jesus Christ. All right, man. So listen, any knowledge do you care about Black Americans being robbed of their land? That's my main topic. Not that you have to.
No, I mean I saw y'all talking about home ownership. I don't own a home yet, and Black Americans getting their homes robbed.
Their land
Their
stolen.
land robbed. Stolen from who though? And in which way?
Stolen by white people, masters of technology.
Yeah, I mean that probably happened. I believe in a different history than mainstream history. I think Black people were here before white people. So I think that's been So I think that's been going on. So they've been stole America. I think Black people were here before. There's been like rumors of Egyptian stuff found in the Grand Canyon. You got the Olmec statues over there, more towards Latin America. I think the thing is, when you talk about like the Egyptians, like if they could build those pyramids, they could probably travel the world. So I think they traveled the whole world already. The same people that built the pyramids.
Black people built the goddamn pyramids.
Right. Yeah, so I think this was all their land before.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you short. Anybody who tries not to give them credit, oh no, it was people from outer space. Fuck out of here. Hey man, anything you want to mention before you go? I appreciate your support.
Just to address the one question, are they trying to save boxing? I think Jake Paul is really good for boxing. A key point would be Amanda Serrano. She's probably the best women's boxer of all time. Only debate would be Clarissa Shields, which I still give Amanda Serrano. But her payday before getting with Jake Paul, her biggest payday was $50,000 before getting with Jake Paul, and now she's making $1 million on average a fight. Mm-hmm. So, and before that, people weren't talking about women's boxing. So I got to give Jake's props for that. You know what I'm saying?
And we're still not. We're still not. But thank you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. But hey, she got $1 million. From 50K to $1 million.
Man. I appreciate the
goal. Sure. Peace out.
My nigga Bone doing work. James, I got you donation. Salute Star. Can you rank Usher? Timberlake? Did you mean Timberlake? Justin Timberlake? And Chris Brown accordingly to your opinion. Usher, number 1. Breezy, number 2, and Justin. Justin Timberlake's a good guy. Anybody remember Justin Timberlake on the Star and Buck Wild show? I've been going viral before that was even a term. Troll babies? I got Justin to admit that he put his face in the coochie of Britney Spears. But, he gives a lot of credit to, and I respect him for this, he gives a lot of credit to Al Green and others. So I can't say that, Justin Timberlake over Breezy. Breezy's the truth. They do him dirty, but Breezy is the truth. Usher just did the Super Bowl, so let's not get it fucked up, okay? All right. Hang on a second. 601. Sorry for the delay. Thank you for your support. Are you there? Good evening, area code 601.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Star?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just wanted to, this subject of Black land being taken, it hits me because my family has had their land taken here in Mississippi.
Okay.
And been finessed out of resources on the other side of the family off their land. So, if you go back to when they discovered oil underneath land here in Mississippi, there were a whole lot of Black landowners, but they didn't have the technology to drill for that oil.
Yeah.
And so
right.
They would try to starve you out, not pay you for your crops and things like that. And when that didn't work and they couldn't get you to sell, they used force. So the Klan actually pushed my great-great-grandparents off of their land. And they went and burned down the black courthouse. There was a segregated area called Paulding, Mississippi.
Okay.
All the black land records were held there. And they burned down that courthouse to try to get rid of the black land records. And my great-grandfather just happened to go in and find the deed to their land. And my family's been fighting for over 30 years to try to get the rights to their land back. We've got records where they pumped billions of dollars worth of oil off the land over the years.
I wish
So,
you,
you know,
wish
we've
you the
been
best.
fighting.
I'm sorry. I wish you the best in your pursuit. And I'm saying it, you know, black folks have been robbed. Land has been stolen. There's all sorts of ways that they use eminent domain to take the land, claiming that they're going to build roadways and other things. And we have to put a pipeline here, and that's horse shit. And I sympathize with what you're saying. Please continue.
Oh yeah, and that's the main thing. You know, we've been fighting it, and the thing is, we have documents to prove every step of the way. I know the people, the politicians who have actually gotten royalties off of the oil that's pumped off the land, the names of the companies, who's taken ownership, and they pass the land around like a hose. They just pass it around, and we have every document till today. And we've been to court even with the Mississippi Oil and Gas Board, and their lawyer looks you in the eyes in front of the judge and said, I believe exactly what you're saying, but the laws are written where you can't prove it based on Mississippi law. So the people who stole the land wrote the laws to protect themselves.
Stay with me for a second. There's a website. You may or may not be familiar with this website. Maybe they can assist you. Hold on a second.
Yes, sir.
Here it is. Whereismyland.org. Do you know that site?
I have not been there.
Write that down or put that, bookmark that. Whereismyland.org. Okay. This is
Saving it now.
Yeah, this is a young lady who, has helped people by way of research, advocacy, technology, and other things. She does research. She does work. I should put that on the screen. Whereismyland.org. So have you made any progress with regards to reacquiring the land, or is it still a struggle? Where are you?
It's been a struggle. We've had as a family, we've spent over $150,000 on lawyers who quit on you, take payoffs, things like that. So we're kind of at a standstill at this point. What I'm doing is my next level of approach is going to be, honestly, to publicize things, because a lot of the time these days when the laws are written against you, it's almost like you have to make it public to guilt someone into doing the right thing. So that's our next goal, to document everything and get it brought out to the public on a larger scale to see what we can do from that end.
Well, stay in touch with me. I don't know what, if anything, I can do, but I will, push the information with regards to your pursuit. Also, whereismyland.org. They're based in Los Angeles, California. And their mission and goal is to assist families in obtaining the best possible outcome available. Okay. So that may be a point of interest for you. Anything else by way of the land that your family you say was taken from them? Anything else that you can tell people to educate them that you're going through? Anything by way of an administrator being appointed, or something that can help people?
Absolutely. I have one thing I want to mention real fast. If you were to Google Cy Lee, that's SIE, and the last name Lee, LEE, oil land, there's actually a full article from back in 2002 when we started this fight, from the LA Times.
Send that to me.
Where we began the fight.
Send that to me via email, and I'll post that in my community section. Send that to me.
Most definitely, I will. And as far as hanging on the land, so on the other side of my family, there's I'm preparing for a land dispute now.
Okay.
So I would tell anybody to make sure you do have an administrator over the land.
Right.
Research your family's land. Make sure they didn't sell the mineral rights to the land. A lot of older Black folks that couldn't read and write as well sold their mineral rights to white people. And so you buy this land and don't realize you don't have full rights to the land, but there are ways to get that back.
Yeah.
So research the land, look at the old deeds. Whatever you do, if your family has land, pay those damn taxes, because there's always somebody waiting in the wings. And make sure that you have your ducks in a row. You know, have a will. Make sure the will is a real will, and notarize everything, and just cross your T's and dot your I's, because when it comes to land, like they said, they're not making any more, and there's always somebody watching your land.
Yeah.
And wanting to take it.
I appreciate the call, and make sure you email that information to me. Thank you for your call, sir.
Will do. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Okay. We're having some good calls this evening about a topic that is not trending. You know, I try and stick to the trending topics, but this is something that I really wanted to flush out, so to speak. Thank you again, Dana, with the data. Dana put me up on this documentary. Okay, it's called Silver Dollar Road, and the county where this happened, this theft of this waterfront property. Let me just emphasize again, waterfront property by way of the Reels family. I'm moving to Emerald Isle, the same county. I'm not buying nothing. I don't think I want to buy anything again. Well, yeah, I'm looking at some condos in Myrtle Beach. If you've heard me mention that, it's just for my own personal thing. I'm not trying to rent out to nobody. But there's a shift going on in Myrtle Beach. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Thongs are now outlawed. Women can't wear thongs down there. They're cracking down on all that biker week shit. I just want to wake up in the morning and just open up the sliding door, and there's the ocean. Pow! That's all I need at my age. I don't want to cut no grass. I don't want to fix no gutters. I don't ever want to fucking dig up a French drain again in my life. Whew. I don't ever want to fix a roof again. Any roofers in the live chat? Anybody ever changed a roof, or in my case, do a roof patch job? Anybody know how much work goes into changing a roof? Over the decades, I've had tenants, hey, Mr. Terrain, the roof is leaking. I said, oh, really? Well, I'll take care of that. Do you think I call some goddamn roofers? No, I got my ass up there with a tarp or some plywood, some shingles, and some tar. What? Changing a roof. Sir Shy, got your donation. He says, can you read my super chat? I got your Cash App, Sir Shy. I don't see your super chat. Can you email it to me, Sir Shy, please? I don't see it. Did I miss it? Area code 404. Good evening. Are you there? Monday night?
Good evening.
Hey.
Yeah, good evening, Star. I'm calling in about the Atlanta finesse topic you were talking about earlier.
Please educate me. Am I just hating to be hating? I think the realtors are down there finessing niggas.
Yeah, so it's not really more so the realtors, but what the problem in Atlanta is right now is that a lot of people are trying to do legit jobs, but like be legit owners, but they're not going about getting the money for it legit. So you might do a little Navy Federal play, back when PPP loans and all these things were big, taking money from there, and then you funding having your CDL. You might have a little trucking business right there. You might open up a restaurant. So what's really going on is like what's really going on is that like so many people they watch these podcasts. You watch these podcasts about they just telling you, giving some of these folks the wrong information, and then now you get into these situations where like you a realtor, but now you messed up with your house, and that's what's going on right now.
Okay, I can appreciate what you're saying. Not that I'm, a know-it-all, but I think that there's a large group of people who want to finesse other black people. And I think that they move down to the Atlanta metro area with the intention to either, jumpstart their lives or to get amongst the movers, the shakers, and the poppers, and they don't give a goddamn who they finesse. I think that they're going down there with the intention to catch a lick. I think that Atlanta is different. It's not the same quality of black people that it used to be. There's no longer, and I've said this before, there's no longer a common thread of decency. I just think that everybody is talking, especially about this whole flipping houses thing. Flipping houses.
Hey, Star, listen.
Come on.
They come down to it. Not even to cut you off, but look, they come down to Atlanta. They find some people probably like who messed off their 20s and their 30s. You know what I'm saying? Messed off your money in your 20s and your 30s. Now you like in your 40s trying to get it together, trying to talk about generational wealth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, listen, I'm not arguing with you. If I'm wrong, say no, Star, you're wrong. I had such an issue with bum ass niggas from New York and New Jersey in their 50s when I was living down there in Woodstock, 60 miles north of Atlanta. Niggas reaching out.
Yeah, I went to Kennesaw State.
Okay.
Yeah, you ain't that far.
Okay. Yeah. So bum ass niggas talking about, yo, Star, I'm in Atlanta too. We gotta break bread. I'm like, break bread, nigga. I didn't fuck with you. I didn't fuck with you up north. Why would I want to fuck with you down here? Anyway. Okay, so you say that people, for the most part, have good intentions and they're getting caught up down there in Atlanta. Is that what you're saying, roundabout way?
Yeah, I see people who have good intentions, but they're getting caught up by these hustlers. Okay. Like, for example, you can go on a podcast in Atlanta right now. Tell them
niggas like DJ Ponzi, Envy. Let's go there, my nigga. Let's go there.
Yeah, just like that. Just like that.
In the words of Zip with the Drip, let's get to that.
Hey, and one more thing I want to say. Hey, your boy Pocket watching, he was really exposing these guys that would come down to some of these cities and doing this exact thing, man.
Very knowledgeable man. I emailed him prior to doing this show to see if he could tap in. But hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for the insight. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure. Thank you, man. Yeah. Gang goofy niggas down there in Atlanta from up north. Yo, OG, yo, I want to interview you. Interview me? Nigga, I didn't fuck with you up north. What? How do I say your name? Is it Kace Cosmoon? You can't just consider land theft. What about policies like the Homestead Act? Okay. From 1860s, 1970s, gave white folks over 230 acres of land free. Yes, I hear you, sir. The lines are open if you want to tap in. But now I did point out a source with regards to the discussion here. Not saying that you're wrong. Not saying you won't, but if and when you find the time, and I hope that you do, Silver Dollar Road. That documentary, it's sad. The Reels family took a stance, a black family that has been fishing, commercial fishing, for decades, since slavery. told to stop trespassing because certain fishing houses no longer wanted to pay them after they would go out and make a catch. White folks got together and didn't like the fact that they had this waterfront property. Two men convicted of civil contempt in 2011. Where is Janet? Janet, are you out there? Janet, you up to speed with this documentary? Janet always does great research. Hang on a second. There's my nigga Houston. Houston, are you tapping in? Hold on a second. Where's Houston? Let me get this big nigga on the line tonight, man. Houston, I just sent you the link, man. Cam up. 404, good evening. We're having a discussion. Are you there? 404 for Monday. Give me a second. Yes, no, maybe? Can you hear me? 404?
Yeah, can you hear me on?
Yes,
it's
sir.
Too nasty on the check here, baby.
Hey, what's up, man? Good to hear from you. What's cracking with you?
What's up? What's up, big nigga? So, all right. So, look, I was paying attention earlier, right?
Okay.
And the topic of the show, right, is a silver dollar documentary. That's
just one of my sources. Hang on, that's just one of my sources.
Oh, yes,
the topic, how Black Americans were robbed of their land nationwide. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. All right. So my family's families from the South originally, right? But mom and whatnot were from up north in Jersey, New York and Jersey, Buffalo, blah, 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 whatever. All right. So back then, Black Americans, especially in the South, didn't have the education to really stay ahead or know what was really going on, right?
Yes. I spoke about that. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So my family's got land. Probably they got like a lake house in the middle of this county in South Georgia, and it's like the only one of its kind, right? And so there's a lot of, and so they've been gentrifying it. It was old Southern Black land. Now white people are moving in. It's around like the UGA area, so it's a college town. And these people are basically gentrifying and building it up, right?
Yeah.
So my grandma pretty much always taught me, no, we're not selling this land. We're not selling this land, this, that, and the other. But to go back to what you said earlier, I was always thinking when she would say stuff like that, like, Grandma, you really don't own the land, because if you don't pay them taxes on it, that is still their property for the taking.
Okay, I hear you, but now she had the right intention, and what happened to the land? Can I ask? What happened to the land?
Yeah. So we still own it and whatnot, but as they're getting up in age, it's kind of like, who's the next family matriarch who's gonna sit there and stamp the household or the house or grandma's house? You know what I mean? So who's gonna take that over next? And I think a lot of Black people down south, they look at this as their first opportunity of wealth or to acquire some type of financial gain, right? We may not even call it wealth, because a lot of them are probably getting lowballed on their offers, right? Just because they don't have the education of property value, land value, and just et cetera, things of that nature, right?
Yeah, listen, I'm listening to you. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but your grandmother, she passed away?
No, but she's getting up there in age. Like, she's probably like 78.
All right, but Pooh Nasty, I have to cut in. Please don't ever call me Unc. I hate that. You call me Unc again, I'm hanging up. The name is Star. Please, okay? I hate that Unc shit. Now, your grandmother, she's still alive. She did the right thing. So who's going to be the administrator? Because if she checks out anytime soon, then it becomes Heirs property. So who's gonna pick up the mantle? She did the right thing. She got the land. Who's stepping in to control things? Who?
Well, I think during the 70s and 80s era, right, you have crack, this and the other, alcoholism and things like that, mental health in the Black community, right? And you'll see how I'm about to connect the two. So as the generations go down, who can she pass it to if, let's say, my father's an alcoholic, or that's her only son? Or you know what I mean? So what better thing to do than just sell the property, spread the wealth?
No, sir. No, sir. She needs to assign the property to someone. Are you a man of Or do you have your wits about you? Why don't you step up and say, Grandma, let me be the admin. I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but we're also talking about old black people, right? So that trust really isn't there for this generation of, all right, I'm 27, for this generation. And you have to be responsible to take over something like that, right? I just told you last or a couple episodes ago, I just got out of jail. Oh. I don't love you, Punasty out.
Okay, he didn't want to have a conversation. Oh, yo, Unc. That's so stupid, that name, Unc. I don't know you like that, homie. Someone has to step up and assume the admin role if the elder person is not going to pick someone. That's the worst thing that can happen is, if the matriarch dies and there's no will. When that happens, then you better believe the goddamn Caucasoid is going to come in with his or her horns out. Guys on the screen, FrollyFusion.com, one of my sponsors. High-end, but affordable prices. Please go to that site. Take a look around, okay? Mention that I sent you there, okay? Affordable prices, FrollyFusion.com. Hang on a second. Okay, hang on a second. So the gentleman who just called in, 540, sit tight, you're up next. The gentleman who just called in, he sent the link. Thank you so much. Hey, man, I got your article. Let me put this in the community section here. Well, I'll put in the live chat for right now. Let me see if I can do this. Can I do this right now, or am I doing too much? Okay. I'll post this tomorrow. Okay, there's the link to the story he just mentioned about finding oil. They found oil on the property. Good God Almighty, huh? Can you imagine some old white folks sitting around, oil? We better get it. We better get it. They don't know what to do with it. Blade, I got your donation. He says, salute, Star, for covering this topic. It boils my blood that Black Americans have to jump through hoops for their own land and provide all sorts of proof. But a small hat can shake. Oh, he's going there. Good God Almighty. Thank you, Blade. Area code 540. Good evening. Are you there? Monday night.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, Star?
How are you, sir? It's cracking.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in real quick, like not to take away from none of the people's stories that's been talking,
okay,
but I think that's kind of not what you was talking about, the land being robbed. Like when you talk about like all of the land or the areas that's underwater and fucking Seneca Village.
Sir, can you watch the language, please? Please watch the language, please.
Yeah, my bad. Seneca Village and even just recently Bruce's Beach out in California, which they had got back, but they ended up selling. Those are lands that been actually robbed.
Lake Lanier, sir. Lake Lanier that I used to go to all the time. I mean, that used to be a black town, and they flooded it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was Lake Martin. It's a whole bunch of other underwater towns like that they just took. So I think those are the lands. I don't think it's like just to talk about robbery. It ain't just lands that black people are just lost because being negligent, but it was lands that were actually taken.
We can expand on the topic itself. I was more so trying to point people in the direction of the documentary. But listen, you can go wherever you want to go. I'm open for the discussion. I don't claim to be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but with regards to certain ways and or methods, I'm not a person who likes to pay off a mortgage. Are you a landowner yourself, or a homeowner, or a realtor, or who are you, sir?
Yeah, I own. Yeah, I'm a landlord. I own property.
Okay. Do you pay
but
off?
No, I got mortgages though.
Okay. How long have you owned the properties?
One for 5 and another for 7.
Okay. Profitable, the whole venture thus far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They duplexes. You know, one of them I actually live in one side and rent out the other one, and the other one is the full duplex.
Yeah, I'm not saying my way is the best way, but I mean, I've always preferred, because of the trailer parks that I you know, was renting, because I got money from the state. I didn't want nobody who had a job. Don't come to me, an upstanding, tax-paying person. No.
But kind of going back to the other caller who was saying, you know,
Come on.
it's good. I guess it's great if you got cash, but especially in this economy, who got cash to go drop on a house in today's market?
Well, listen, salute to people who can pay off a mortgage. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying me, that's not how I moved over the decades. If I'm in contact with the state, you know, Pennsylvania to be precise, because my trailer park, pardon me, was in Hazleton. And I was able to get around all sorts of building codes and or restrictions, plumbing, if you will. So you know, it didn't benefit me to pay it off. You follow me? But someone such as yourself, if you're talking about duplexes and things, well, then maybe that's the best option for you. But let's pull this back to Black Americans being robbed of their land. Yes, the education was not there, but in today's day and time, people can do all sorts of whether it be GoFundMe campaigns, or they can reach out to the masses and bring attention to such things. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but I just think stuff like that. A lot of those GoFundMe stuff, I think that kind of go back to what you was talking about, Atlanta. That's just like the new grift now. The GoFundMe. You've been irresponsible about certain things. Now you want people to come in and chip in and help you out. Yeah. I don't agree with that.
Okay. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, sir.
Yes, sir. Something else I wanted to mention. Was it Atlanta, or where the hell's my pen at? Anybody from the Atlanta metro area, has anybody come across a community development specialist? I had a hard time when I first moved down there in 2019. Again, I've been going there since the late 80s, but that was just on some music industry party shit. But when I moved down there, I was trying to find a community development specialist, you know, and it just, again, the pandemic hit, and I just said, whoa, you know, I can't wait to get out of here. And I did. But there's so many realtors, in my opinion, they are trying to finesse people who are looking to buy homes. I don't trust the market down there, and I certainly don't trust those realtors. If you're buying a home from a realtor who's up on the gram, you know, up in the club, that's a red flag. If you ask me, that's a red flag. Gangs of Love, I got your donation, sir. Are you tapping in? He says, star, look up. So I saw that film, sir. I saw that. Yeah. Flowers of the Killer Moon. Yeah, Robert De Niro did a great job in that film. And I like they stuck to the story with regards to some of the murders. It was a good film. I saw it. What do you want to say about it? Gangs of Love, do you want to tap in? Thank you for your donation. Christopher says, Gwinnett County GA trying to take my fams said they were touring a big house into music. Ooh, they bought it, and in 6 years haven't done. Oh, I think you've got a case, in my opinion. I'm no lawyer, but if they took your family's home by way of, in Gwinnett County, eminent domain, and they've done nothing to it, that's a very familiar story. They took it and they haven't taken it with regards to what they claimed. I mean, there is a time limit with regards to some of these different states. I don't know all the laws, but you may have a case if you ask me. Christopher also says, Ghost Dadon, thank you for your donation. Some take loans out on houses to buy more. The county auction is every week. That's a whole fact. That's a whole fact. Yeah. Take out loans. I shouldn't say this, but why would you pay off a house? I mean, if your long-term goal is the equity, and the sale down the road, and you've got kids, okay. You want to leave something to your kids, okay. Chris G, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. Wait a second. Houston, sit tight. I see you, sir. Sit tight, Houston. 469, good evening. Are you there? We're having a discussion about Black Americans being robbed of their land. 469.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Hey, Star. How you doing? So, I got to keep it real. That land rightfully belongs to Native Americans, right? Indigenous people, North and South America. Now, if FBA acquired that land in the so-called pioneering days, then that's fine. I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game. And I don't hate. If they got that land, if they got that land, it's theirs. They should fight for it now. I mean, obviously, it's trying to be reacquired by, as you put it, white people, which I agree with that. But the point remains that land belongs to Native, North, and South Americans. They lost it, obviously, through, we know history. But doesn't negate your point. FBA, I believe, built America through, obviously, labor, right? So they deserve theirs. I'm just adding a counterpoint to who that land rightfully belongs to.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
I appreciate this call, and it's good to have a healthy discussion. Were the natives slaves for over 400 years on this soil?
Definitely not.
Okay.
No.
Why do foundational Black Americans and ADOS, American descendants of slavery, why do they have to pay taxes on any goddamn thing after being slaves for 400 years? And you have the natives, as you just pointed out, who don't pay taxes, who are given money to open casinos and all sorts of stuff. And if you dig, and I'm sure you have, and you'll see that a lot of those natives are indeed negro. So I just want to be clear on what you're saying. Not saying that you're wrong, but I'm giving you the floor to speak, please.
Sure. That's a valid point. I don't believe FBA ADOS should be required to pay taxes, and right. I do believe they should be given reparations. Yeah, for sure. I'm all for that. It's just just a simple point. I guess it doesn't really matter because I mean they put the natives. No.
You brought it to the table. I'm entertaining what you're saying. Are you Hispanic? You sound Hispanic.
I'm not Hispanic. I'm American, Mexican ancestry. So I recognize I was born in America. Obviously, I haven't lost my identity, Mexican ancestry. Identify as Chicano, which is a Mexican American born individual who has
great people. You've heard me say this before. Great people. I have no problem with with many of you coming home. California is home. Yes, that's home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Texas, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico.
But now at the same time, you gave it up. You sold it, right? You did the deal.
Pennies on the dollar.
Well, you did the deal. Whether it's pennies on the dollar or not, you did the deal. How much was the island of Manhattan sold for? You sold it.
Ooh, yeah, that was like a few bucks. $11, wasn't it? Like $11 and some trinket.
You tell me, sir. You tell me.
I will. Well, I learned it from watching you, Star. I heard you references, so I'm trying to recall.
But now stay with me. I appreciate this call, and I will give you the last word. You see, the foundational Black Americans and the ADOS, they were made a promise, and then they were robbed of the land that was given to them, and they didn't get the chance to then sell it as the Chicanos did. You sold Texas, you sold most of goddamn California, and you sold New York City, sir. Can you Google? Stay with me. I got time. I forget what was it? $11, $24, $17. I forget. What they sell? Let me just sell that goddamn thing. Well, let me look in the live chat.
Sure.
Google it. Sold NYC. Oh my goodness. I hate to be right. In 1626, the story goes, indigenous sold off the entire island of Manhattan to the Dutch for $24 worth of beads and trinkets. Goddamn. Huh?
That's the unfortunate.
Huh?
That's the unfortunate truth. No, you
traded for it. You traded. God damn.
It's crazy.
You have the last word, sir. You have the last word.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. My only point was that I do believe ADOS FBA needs to come for theirs by any means necessary. I know Mexicans are coming back for the Southwest by any means necessary. It's already occurring. Anyway, last word is Bone reference, blacks being Olmecs. I also need that narrative to kind of simmer down.
Gotcha.
Olmecs are Mayans, people from Guatemala, so they share the same features, broad noses, but no, blacks were not all in South America. They're not Olmecs, and the whole Cherokee, people claiming to have Cherokee in there, but that's cool. That's I'll give them that one. Yes, sir. I'll give them that one.
Thank you,
but anyway, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Viva Mexico. Viva Mexico. Houston, what up, baby? Let's go. Nigga,
this nigga said I was fucking with the Mexicans heavy. They didn't cut you on the coke.
They never beat me on the coke in Cali.
Dog.
What's poppin', Houston?
Hey, dog, what's poppin' with you? You know, I always check on you to see if you're living, to see if my original name in your will. First of all, the reason why black people are losing land because they still have the nigger mentality beat into them.
Damn.
I'm just going there.
Come on.
Because think about it. The Africans that come over here, they're still ignorant in the mind of what's going on over here. But by the time they cross that ocean, they have a different frame of mind about what we doing over here as foundational black people. You know what I'm talking about? And then when they get over here, it ain't like when they was over there getting their ass kicked. But it's like we fought for y'all to be here. And then the only reason why black people are, that's why it is. And they always have a scam on their mind. You know what I mean? It's a scam. It's the nigger slave mentality that keeps black people messing over black people. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm letting you talk your talk as always. As always. But now, what was that you said about the Africans? Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've never met an African with good intentions.
Me neither.
I've never met an African with good intentions.
An African ain't never met an African with good intentions. Them niggas don't even like each other. They over there chopping each other up, nigga. Why would I go to Africa and you got you dying trying to get over here, but you gonna talk down on black people when you get over here? These Africans are crazy. I don't trust Nigerians, Africans, none of them niggas. Because they have that mentality of selling us. And when they get over here, they think they're bigger than us. And
Well,
then
Houston, we've had this discussion before. And I hear an echo in the background. Is that you and me? I hear an echo in the background. Can you turn down whatever you got going on over there?
Ain't nothing going on in my background.
Okay. The African is a businessman. African is a businessman. That's a whole fact. So let's not even worry about them. With regards to Black Americans being robbed of their land, are you up to speed on some of the sources that I'm referencing here tonight? The Silver Dollar Road documentary.
The Silver Dollar Road. I've heard of it, but the way that I'm listening to it, because I heard you saying that they sold New York to the Dutch for $11 and something.
No, that was the Native Americans who sold it. I'm talking about in North Carolina, the Reels family.
Okay.
Close to Emerald Isle, which is where I'm moving to. I'm just renting. I ain't buying it. But,
You're moving right in to get in on the good deal.
I don't want to buy nothing. I'm gonna hang out there for a year, and then I'm gonna head south along the Crystal Coast. But go ahead.
You moving out there to get the good deal while the getting is good. You're a capitalist, right? I will move out there too. I'm like, if they stupid enough to be that ignorant, if that makes sense, I'm like, you can't blame me. You know what I'm talking about? You know what it is. None of these Hotep niggas are talking about what you're talking about as far as land. That's why I never bought a house unless I got at least 20 acres, because it's pointless. At least 20 plus acres. If you don't own the land that you sitting on your house in a cul-de-sac and you paying $500,000 for it or 100,000 and plus for it, the house is so close you can hear somebody pee. I'm like, why would you pay for that? And you don't own the land and you're getting charged homeowners fees, you're getting charged everything. They can pick up your house. You can own the house. They've proven that they can pick your house up. They like, yeah, you can get the house. We'll just tote it down the street like a trailer.
Let me jump in, Houston. I'm not mad at nobody who pays off a mortgage. What I do for me and myself, that's what I do for me and myself. But some people will say, hey, I'm paying off the mortgage because I want to leave these properties to my children. I respect that. But at the same time, if the process is not explained to the children, if they don't understand money, if they just think that they're going to get a gift, and not understand the mechanics of how that was acquired, then you could just be wasting all those years, all that goddamn time.
Yeah, they don't understand what you had to go through in order to leave that to them. They're not understanding, like you said, the process. They think they just getting a gift, and then they be like, I got a house, and then they just nigger it out, and then the house be gone and get to somebody else that don't even understand the struggle that you went through to get that.
Yeah.
It's the nigger mentality. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You have to understand what somebody's leaving you. Nobody actually leaves you anything if you don't understand what you're getting left. You have to understand. Look, sit down. The internet is more than looking at people beefing and then women busting it wide open. Look at this paperwork that I'm giving you.
Yeah.
So you can understand why I'm trying to leave this to you.
Okay.
You get me?
Houston, I gotta take other calls, man. I appreciate you, man. Salute.
Man, already. Salute, Star.
Already. Okay. My nigga Houston tapping in. Knew that got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Star, if you die owing money, do you owe it in the afterlife? Well, that depends. That depends. Do you have a 501c3 as I do, or do you have an LLC? Do you have an estate? Is your home and or properties, plural, in a trust? You know, I more so want to focus on the land being robbed. Again, what I do works for me. I don't necessarily have someone who I can say, hey, I'm gonna leave you 1.8 million. Yeah, I want you to be okay in life. Nah, I haven't worked all this goddamn time, built up assets and things to just, plop in your fucking lap. I got to see what you're made of. Do you understand banking and finance? I mean, and especially, oh my God, especially if you've gone to college. I'm a dropout. Show me what you're working with. Anyway, hold on a second. Area code 704. Good evening. We're having a healthy discussion about Black Americans being robbed of their land. Are you there? 704.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? Like, you hear me?
No, sir. It sounds like you're in a bathhouse or underwater or something. Can you make some adjustments so we can hear you, sir?
My bad. All right, what about now?
There you go. What's cracking with you, man? What's cracking?
Oh, listen, I just want to say, can we play the world's smallest violin for that dude up in Mississippi, wherever he was at, talking about, oh, you got to get this land and make sure that your land is your land because they took our land and all this and that. Yo, look, I used to agree and nod my head to, us blacks, saying we was here and all this and that first and all this and that. If we was here first and all this and that, why we ain't do nothing with the land?
Come on.
Why we ain't do nothing with the land?
Come on.
Black people was here first. Black people was here first. If we was such here first and we the smartest of them all, why didn't we do anything with this here, what we call America? Okay? The white man came through and said, you know what? These niggas. Yo, first of all, let me say this. Cause I'm black. I'm down for my people. I love black people. I'm black myself. But what I'm saying is we helped them build this country. We helped them build this country. Okay? They didn't help us build this country. What the mean? Okay, yeah. I get it. You want stuff to, compensate what we done,
right?
In this country, the hard work and all this and that. But we blew it. Yeah. He gave us government assistance. He gave us government aid. We wanted to tote guns and be in the hood and smoke weed.
Now you're marginalizing and generalizing, but I appreciate your approach. You and I have spoke before. Thank you for staying on topic. Thank you, because sometimes you're not on the topic. So let me say again, thank you. Now, at the same time, hang on a second. At the same time, I'm pointing out a reality of a family, in North Carolina. Hold on a second. Let me put this back on the screen for those who just now tuning in. The documentary Silver Dollar Road. But you make a valid point. I've done shows in the past. How did Blackie lose everything? Right? You've heard me say that. Okay. But tonight I sit here, I'm pointing out a reality, and at the same time, I can say that, the grafted man is tricky. I sit before you, half grafted. Some would say I'm a white man with the tan. Either way, I'm pointing things out, and there is validity to what it is that I'm saying. So if we can pull it back, finish up with regards to some of the people who were taken advantage of. They didn't have the education. They're trying to play catch up. They don't have anything to really bounce back with. What about those people? You made some good points, but what about the people who were robbed?
Right. Okay. Right. And so when to those people, you know, because I believe that I fall into that category, right? But it's not too late for those people. I do believe that it's not too late. Only because, you know, you just have to know the system. I don't want to give out too much information because I don't even I try not to associate myself with certain groups of people. So I don't even want to give out that this advice.
Okay.
You know. But all I would say is know the system.
Okay.
That's it.
I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call.
Yo, stop,
No,
please.
You
before
did,
hang
you
up.
did good. Leave it on that note. You did great. You did great. Thank you, man. Okay. Whew, 704, man. That was a great call for you tonight, man. Thank you, huh? I've had to hang up on him a few times. Big then better. I got your donation. Thank you for your donation. Salute to you and your beautiful family. He says, Star, I'm watching you while my first son is being born. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And I wish you guys health. I wish you health, man. Thank you so much. Okay. Food, peace, and self-care. Got your donation. Number 9 is Pro Big Back Pink Toes. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, I got a feeling somebody wants to go 10 toes down and hard in the paint. Florida boy Jay, good evening, sir. How are you?
Man, nigga, what's popping, man? What's going on? We talking about niggas selling themselves for cheap, giving the land back to the white man. We just trying to make it for the white man. Take it. What is going on tonight?
Well, before we go in that direction, Russell Wilson has signed on with the Pittsburgh Steelers, yes?
Yeah, you remember I called it.
Come on.
I broke down.
Come on.
I broke down how he is with the ownership group of the owners of the stadium.
Okay.
You know, I told him to look out for that. Mike
Right.
Tomlin is a black coach.
Right.
You know, he's gonna look out for, you know, niggas. He did the same thing with Brian Flores when they tried to blackball him.
Okay.
Kenny Pickett is not the guy. Mason Rudolph isn't the guy, and they just released Mitch Trubisky, and he signed with the Bills. So they really do need a quarterback. On top of the fact that the Pittsburgh offense and Arthur Smith don't really do too much passing in the middle of the field.
Okay.
That's always been Russell Wilson's weakness as a quarterback because he's short, so he really cannot see over the linemen.
Okay.
So I think it's going to work. They already had a dysfunctional offense. Now that offensive line needs some work. They do need to readjust. Need to grab another weapon, but I think this might be the best landing spot for him, especially with Mike Tomlin being able to translate his corniness back to the players.
May I respond to what you've just said? I think Russell Wilson is washed. I think he had his run. He's another Doug Flutie. He's another Fran Tarkington. He can't see over the line. He's too old to now be scrambling to the left and to the right. He can't fire that ball like a John Elway. I think he shot his load, and I don't think he's going to do nothing. I'm predicting the Steelers won't even make it to the playoffs in the upcoming season. Won't even make it there.
I can't agree with the Steelers not making the playoffs because one thing about Mike Tomlin is he's been coaching there since the 2006-2007 season.
Right.
He has yet to put up a sub-500 record season. And as trash as the Steelers were last year, they still make the playoffs. Mike Tomlin is like what Mike Tomlin is to the Steelers is like what Eric Spoelstra is to the Heat. Niggas is never going to fold, and niggas never going to tank to get a high draft pick. We're going to maximize the talent we have, even if this is a talentless team, and we're going to put the best product on the field.
I hear you, sir. I hear you talking about the coach and the team, but Russell Wilson had knee surgery in 2022. Okay, arthroscopic surgery on his right knee that was nagging him for years. He's done. He's out of here, sir. He can't scramble like that anymore. He can't drop back and throw it across field. I'm saying he's washed. He's trash, and he will retire in Pittsburgh. Can you address his right knee, sir? Please.
I mean, you know, microscopic knee surgery, I don't think it's the same as when Amari Stoudemire, Penny Hardaway got it back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Arthroscopic, and he's how old now? He's in his mid to late 30s. He's not in his 20s. Can't bounce back off of that.
Yeah, but cleaning up the knee a little bit, that's been flaring up can help. And like I said, if Mike Tomlin can take Mitch Trubisky and goddamn Kenny Pickett to the playoffs, I like to feel like Russell Wilson's upgrading. If you look at Russell Wilson's stats, he had great numbers. Did he play great? No. But the Steelers don't play great, and they still win games. So I think he is a better quarterback than the options that they had available. And if they made the playoffs with the trash quarterbacking that they had, I think they have a better chance with Russell Wilson to return than to bring the incumbent quarterback back. And lastly, we can't disrespect Fran Tarkenton like that. He was the man. A loser, but he was a man. He was that guy.
Well, sir, I saw Fran Tarkenton play. He was, you know, he didn't get the job done with the Vikings. So I don't know what you're talking about. He didn't get the job done. He could drop back like
got the fuck out of here, right?
He could drop back like Darryl LaMonica and rifle it down the field. Wow! But he didn't get the job done with the Vikings. But now let's shift gears for a second, sir. My main topic: how Black Americans were robbed of their land. Not that you have to be up to speed on this documentary, Silver Dollar Road, but this is a reality. Your thoughts, sir? Your thoughts?
My thoughts on that is this has just been the history of this country. I mean, they originally took over a lot of the native or aboriginals with other Indian groups and feared that those Indians were going to be wiped out. So we took our own land originally, and then they came back. And because we don't really have any jurisdiction power or some of these small towns, even some of these big towns, the whole thing that happened with redlining, we don't own this country. White people do. And whatever they see fit, they're going to do, they will take from you because the white man owns everything. It is what it is. I don't want any niggas coming on here trying to put a hotep hat on, talking about we may overcome, see what we got to do because, you know, last month we was King's month and everything. It don't matter. When a white man decides if your time is up, it's up. That's why I say, when niggas ask how I'm doing, I'm just trying to make it before the white man take it. Because as a Black American, that is the cold, hard fact. Jesus. You're just trying to make it until God sends you home or the white man takes you home.
Damn.
Which one you want to do?
Okay, so
you pick.
So do you feel like these Black people have been done wrong over the centuries? And I also made reference to some other places. You know, it's not just the Black Wall Street where Black people were done wrong. There was pardon me, out in South Carolina. There's a very hold on a second, an island that most people don't know about. Hilton Head Island, that used to be owned by predominantly Black people, somewhere around the 50s. White real estate developers built a bridge and took over every damn thing. Built a bridge.
Like was it Bruce's Beach in California where they just came and took that nigga stuff and then finally gave the family back? That should let you know, as a Black person, if you have anything of value that the white man wants, they will change laws in real time to take it from you. I don't want to hear, oh, this nigga cooning, oh, this nigga scared. Point an example where a nigga held his spot down from the white man. White man said, you know what, nigga, you got it. There is none. We had a thriving Black community in Jacksonville where niggas had mansions and all that. And guess what? They put a highway right smack dab in the middle of it. I have a great granddad that owned half of JTB. Niggas in Jacksonville know where JTB is. I can't see a dollar from that, and I can't see anything that he's made from that. Because the minute you have something of value that the white man feels like you should not have, they will take it from you. And every nigga who's listening that want to put his marching boots on and start crumping for Black Lives Matter knows this fact. I'm sorry we're not on here keeping hope alive, but every nigga on this line knows it.
Okay, I appreciate you, man. Anything else we need to mention by way of what is that? Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. What's going on, Florida Boy Jay? Is this just a money grab for Mike Tyson? What's going on here?
Absolutely, because Mike Tyson, even though he had Roy Jones sprinting across the ring, and he would have most people shook to fight, I think Mike Tyson looks at this as he's trying to help Jake get on. I mean, not get on. He's already on, but he's trying to help further the image of boxing. He's further trying to push the sport of boxing by sacrificing his name and likeness to get punched out by this white boy. I think it's more in the name of boxing, but I want to see Jake Paul knock Mike Tyson out because I know it's going to hurt niggas' souls when white people are posting that on Twitter or X. And I just want to see niggas whine and cry and get aggy because Mike Tyson, almost senior citizen age, niggas still think he can knock people out like it's 1989. So let's just wipe that tooth fairy dream out of niggas' minds too while we're at it. You don't own nothing, and Mike Tyson getting his ass whipped by a white person. What we doing?
I appreciate you, man. Salute.
Absolutely. Have a great night, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Florida Boy Jay tapping in. I'll let the man speak. I'll let him speak. Hold on a second, guys. Larry, I got your donation. So yeah, at the top of the live chat, that should be let me just double check. I thought I pinned it there for those who don't use Cash App. Hold on a second. There should be a PayPal link. Hold on. Wow, that was loud. Jesus Christ. Yes, at the top of the live chat, there is the Super Chat with Star link. You can send a PayPal donation there. Thank you for your support, okay? Have we combed through this topic enough? Well, it's just a research edition, on a Monday night. Mondays are kind of slow, I got a couple of people's emails with regards to Bishop Lamore Whitehead found guilty. I don't want to focus on that tonight. Oh, okay, Dana with the data said she wants to tap in, okay? And Janet just sent me a email. Hey, Janet, how are you? Where's Dana? Hold on a second. Dana, check your email, okay? Okay, Janet says, folks need, okay, she says, I can't call in. I'm in the middle of researching. Okay, she's got something going on. I don't want to see what she's got going on. Oh, thank you, Janet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Janet. Okay, Janet just sent me a link to congress.gov. Let me post this in the live chat. Guys, Janet said, feast your eyes on that. She can call in, but thank you, Janet, okay? Guys, hold on a second. Dana, check your email. Ashira. Did I say that right? Ashira, thank you, darling, for your donation. Okay, you're in North Carolina. I'm going to be excited to be living in North Carolina. And at some point, I have to get to Durham. I spent 2 summers in Durham in the early 70s. Well, not the whole summer. I spent half the summer there. And then my parents flew me up to Martha's Vineyard to see my other grandmother. But Kent Street, I've spoken about that before. Wonderful memories, great times. Sitting on the porch with my grandmother, Roberta Torain, and my aunt Samija, as they sat there and dipped snuff and they spit in that platoon. I was so fucking fascinated. They're sitting there with sweltering hot goddamn heat and they're spitting in the bucket. I said, what are you doing? But thank you for your donation. Pardon me for rambling. There she is, Dana with the data. Hey, girl.
Hi. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear. Good to see you. I've been putting respect on your name. You put me up on the Silver Dollar Road documentary, which I've been speaking about this evening?
Yes, I actually watched that documentary, and I love Raoul Peck. I like his work, so he has a great body of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so honestly, with that documentary, it was well done, and what I took from that was a lack of preparation, and lack of proper paperwork. Because if the patriarch of the family who did pass, who they talked about in the beginning of the documentary, if he would have had a will, it would have eliminated a lot of legal issues that the family face. So, not saying that they never would have encountered any problems, because they were developers trying to take over that land, down the line. But the problem that I saw with Black families, particularly in this documentary, and what we see throughout the nation, is a lack of proper paperwork. You don't have a will. You may not be paying taxes. If land is passed down to families, they're quick to sell it to get a check. So it's all about learning financial literacy, and I think that's also lacking in the Black community as well.
You make valid points, and I agree with you. But at the same time, I must say, because I have so much genuine love and appreciation for my Geechee family, and I've spoken about them before, such great life lessons, things that they said, and they may have said them in the most simplistic way, but it held truth, They had the right intention to pass land down. There have been so many, and probably still are, people up north, out west, and other places who have been left a parcel of land from their southern relatives. And many people just didn't pay the taxes, didn't go down there, or just look down upon, it's just a field. What am I supposed to do with this? Right. So I give them the credit for trying to do the right thing. But even with the lack of understanding, do you think that an injustice needs to be addressed and corrected? Because that documentary, again, that you put me on to, those people, man, that was the harshest sentence ever issued for such an offense in North Carolina. 8 years for 2 Black men in 2011, released in 2019 for trespassing on their own fucking land, Dana.
Yeah. And listen, I salute those men. Because they take me to jail because I'm not moving. I'm not going to hand you over my land. So, again, and I get it, and I respect the family. I respect what those men in this particular documentary, sacrifice. But it was like playing catch up, because you had, I think it was the niece of someone, she became an adult, she moved away, but then she's dealing with lawyers, different lawyers, taking money, not doing their job, so you have lawyers scamming. You have already a political system in that particular town in North Carolina where they don't practice, racism in your face. But when we're talking about backdoor deals or just, policies, it kind of goes against, not just because you're Black, it's really a lot of times because you're poor. You don't have the money. So if you don't have, let's say, if you didn't send your kids to college to become doctors, lawyers, or engineers, where they can make substantial amount of money, knowing how to invest that and knowing financial knowledge to make sure that they can preserve land. There are people in my family, on my mother's side, they come from Georgia, walked off the plantation and bought land, build a home, raise 14 kids. But what happened to that land? Because after so many generations, it falters, or they sell it. And then, everyone moved up north. So again, it's not all.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Now we have people moving back down to the south from up north, specifically from New York and New Jersey. There's other places as well, Chicago, but they're going to Atlanta. And I pointed out earlier, you were doing your show, so you didn't catch me saying this. There's so many realtors in Atlanta. Oh my goodness, they're everywhere, and they're trying to sell you mansions. I've found very few community development specialists in Atlanta.
Mhm.
That's a red flag to me. If you don't have people that are trying to steer people to invest in a community, I found one community in College Park, a small house community. Might the black people, the realtors, be part of the goddamn problem? And maybe this is a stretch, but might the realtors in Atlanta be part of the problem, trying to sell everybody mansions?
Yes, but maybe not that direct to selling mansions. It's a thing to where, and I actually want to interview this woman. She's in her 70s, born and raised in Georgia.
Okay.
It's a difference between HOA, and POA.
Right.
So the problem is the POA that comes in to these communities, and what we have, let's say a BlackRock, I'm just giving an example, buying up communities and renting them out. To whereas a HOA, that is more of a community base, like homeowners association. So to your point, if you do have a realtor, a lot of times realtors are working for these corporation entities that are trying to take over and control what used to be communities of homes.
Bingo.
Right. So, and listen, I'm not a real estate expert, but it's a process. So that is happening. And we're talking about homes. We're not even talking about land. We're just talking about an average home. So if you were, and then yes, you hear the rumbles now with black people saying part of
I don't see, unless I missed it, and I did a little research, I don't see a push for black people to buy land in certain areas of Georgia. When I took my road trip to Florida, I drove through what was it, Columbus and other places. There is so much goddamn land. It's crazy. I was driving out towards Jekyll Island, and there's so much land out there, and I didn't see any type of push for people to buy land and set up communities. I mean, there's a couple of people who, I forget the name of this one group that they got together and they bought some acres of land, but I don't see that push. Go ahead.
You have to know about agriculture. You have to know how to cultivate the land. What are you going to build on it? So listen, I'm from East Orange, New Jersey. If you have someone born and raised in Brooklyn or the Bronx, what do we know about buying land? Whether you want to build a home, whether you want to farm, you don't know how to do that. So what are you going to do with the land? So you're not going to be interested in buying the land too. Whereas you have other groups of people that, whether they're from South America or India or what have you, who are familiar with how to cultivate the land. So they know the value in land to where we lost that essence of that. So again, generations passed down. They forgot to pass down teaching your children about finance and the importance of land and what to do with it. So it's not white supremacy. It's a whole bunch of other stuff, and we have to take responsibilities for ourselves first.
Oh, I beg to differ. I think it's white supremacy.
In 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Well,
yes. Oh, yes.
I think white supremacy takes advantage of our ignorance.
Now more than ever. See, now it's so covert now. It's not blatant like it used to be. It's covert.
Right. But they could do that because if you're ignorant to the fact, they're going to take advantage of you. Why not?
I don't think it's so much that black people are ignorant. I think that the Caucasian is just very tricky. Tricky. It's tricky to write around. So go ahead.
I mean, tricky to, yes, they will collectively come together and create an LLC and buy land under a corporation. Again, black people could do the same thing. We can do what white people are doing today if we are willing to educate ourselves on whatever that may be and work together. Let's try that first.
I got one foot in the grave. I'm almost 60. I'm not trying to right now, this stage of my life.
So if I came to you and say, listen, let's put our funds together, you know, buy a couple of homes where you move it to North Carolina and let's invest.
If you said that to me,
yes,
I would say no, thank you. No, thank you.
See?
I have been looking, Dan, I don't know if I know I told you, I've been looking at these little condos on Myrtle Beach just for me, not to rent out. You know, Myrtle Beach is about to be popping in less than 5 years. They got certain laws down there. The restaurants are going to be fined if they allow all these bikers to be all over the goddamn place soon. Women will be given a ticket, and the ticket will be enforced if they walk around with thongs. So they've got these nice oceanfront condos for like $250,000. I'm looking at Myrtle Beach.
But you're looking at it for yourself.
Yes, yeah, I'm selfish. Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you could two or three or four people coming together, create an LLC, buying 3-4 acres or what have you, put little homes on there, rent it out, create a community. So, I mean, we have to be willing to work together. So let's work together first before we blame the white man.
Good luck with that. Okay. What'd you do on your show earlier today?
Of course. So yes. So on Monday and Thursdays, it's me and Judge Joe Brown with Man Up, and of course we still smoking on that fanny pack.
When does the judge come back with his ruling, Dana?
This week.
Yeah.
We on verdict watch.
Any predictions? Any predictions?
Well, listen. Okay, so Judge Joe Brown, he's very impressed with the Judge McAfee. So I think this judge is going to do the right thing and disqualify her office from this Trump case. Yes. So we are on verdict watch this week. Also on my channel going forward, we are going to be talking about further corruption that goes on in Fulton County as well. So I have a lot of people that is from that community, and they're going to come on and we're going to, talk about it. So we still smoking on that fanny pack.
Okay. Dana, thanks so much for tapping in. Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Bye.
Okay. All right. That's my girl, Dana, with the data. Lucifer, I got your donation. 100 facts star that North Carolina, South Carolina, and GA, Florida were Black owned. On my Florida road trip, for those who remember, what was that theater? On the Deuces. I had to make it my business to go there in St. Petersburg. Hold on a second, the Deuces. The Royal Theater, St. Petersburg, Florida. What a monumental theater in a district that used to be poppin'. Let me put this in the live chat since we're doing research tonight. Let me take my time. The Royal Theater was a 700-seat movie theater in St. Petersburg, Florida, serving the local African-American community from 1948 until 1966. Okay. The street was known as the Deuces, okay, part of a thriving hub of commerce and entertainment, and is featured on the African-American Heritage Trail. Well, I was right there. Thank you, Lucifer, for your support. Newt also says Hilton Head, Florida boy Jay. Okay, he's talking crazy. Thank you. 5-time combat vet. Thank you for your donation, sir. And thank you for killing so that I can live the life that I live. This beautiful life. Thank you for doing whatever it is that you've done, sir. But whether you be a sniper or a bomb specialist, if you've blown up cars, whatever. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I mean that for real, for real. Hang on a second. Okay, this is something different. Let's do one more call, guys. We've had a good, healthy discussion this evening. Area code 973. You are my last caller. Are you there? 973.
Yeesh. What's going on, Star?
Hey, man, how are you? It's cracking.
Good. I was just gonna fill in with my 2 cents. I'm not gonna pretend like I know the history of like the land that's been taken from indigenous people, African Americans, or whatnot.
Okay.
But based on a few of the callers that I heard, I mean, from my personal perspective, I think at least to me, it feels like some people being African Americans, fail to see that we are constantly at the how could I put that? It's like we asking the quote unquote enemy for something, and I feel like that's the biggest issue. Like we want reparations, we want land, we want this, and at the same time, it's like we forget that how the history or how prejudiced they are against us, and we expect so much from them, from people that constantly show us, that how they think about us or how they treat us or how they see us. Not all of them, of course, but a fair amount, obviously. Just like the last woman who called, it seems like she's not even aware.
Well, hang on a second, sir. Before you point out another caller, how old are you, sir, may I ask?
I'm 38.
Are you really African American, or are you a plant? Are you a troll pretending? Hang on. Hang on. Are you pretending to be African American, and you're trying to put forth a narrative of, why do we keep asking? Sir, a wrong has been committed. Let's start there.
So I believe, first of all, we spoke last week. This usually said.
I don't remember, sir. I don't know who you are. I don't know what I had for breakfast yesterday. I don't remember.
Fair enough. So, I'm a Nigerian born. I'm first generation Nigerian.
Oh, you're a tether, and you want African Americans to stop begging, when you yourself are a descendant of slave traders. Yes.
Yes. No, I'm not saying I don't want African Americans to stop begging.
You're pretending to care, but in reality, you're a tether. You use the word brother at your leisure to fit in, to maneuver. But in reality, you sit around, you smell your feet, and you eat that disgusting jollof rice, right?
Disgusting jollof rice. Nah, but me, I don't use the word brother.
You're full of shit, sir. You're full of shit. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, sir. Hang on. I'm not gonna hang up. Will you hang up? So you're full of shit.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay. Caught him. Peace.